you went out there the first fight to take him down, to try and take him down, or to implement but you couldn't, and then you implemented the calf kicks. Or was that the calf kicks from the start the plan?
No, look, to be honest, it was obviously looking for a takedown was always going to be there, but it wasn't something I was going to chase. You know, there was a whole stand-up, I was going to say formula, but game plan that we had to stick to, and it goes detailed. You know, if we knew that he's really good with his distance, and so with things like that, we knew that we're going to pull up short, up high. So again, we had
pull up short. And
so again, high. When he really pulls the pressure on, he's in your face, so it seems like he's there. But early on, especially when he sees they're dangerous and he's really good at distance, he's really good at touching and getting out of the way, avoiding punches, and then giving you some countering. So we had ways of going in. Again, I don't want to give too much away, but we had ways of getting in. And if they pulled short, there was going to be other options there that we needed to stick to. Obviously, the legs. You know, he might pull his head out of the way, so we knew that. So we went to go up high, and they were pulling up short like we expected. Like we knew this was going to happen as well.
Because he was going to lean back?
Yeah, exactly. So
because he leans forward, creates up, like he paws with his jab?
Yeah, so when he's coming forward, like he's heavy on that leg when he wants to pour it on. But I mean, early on in the fight, he was still, getting his head out of the way.
This is first fight.
He's always still going to be pretty heavy on that leg, but he's really good at shuffling that feet and getting out of range anyway. Because again, he loves that jab, so he loves to stay heavy on that front leg. But he's very good at evading space. Is that the right word? Making space. Shuffling his feet to get himself out. So we knew that would be the case. So again, the punches come up, we're pulling up a bit short, and we're like, all right, well, that's not there. The legs are. All right, let's start smashing the legs. And then not only that was always going to be a game plan because he likes to come forward and put the pressure on. As he's trying to jab, I'll just stick one into his leg, let him realize I ain't going to let you get your rhythm. He wants the momentum to start rolling his way. I ain't going to give that to him. So the leg kicks were a big part of that. It was a whole distance as management that I was telling you about, where the head wasn't there, but the legs will be there. Then when he's trying to be heavy on the leg to check him or whatever it is, maybe the head will be there. Then it started getting even deeper than that, where then I started finding the punches because of them leg kicks. The punches were landing. Then he realized that I was throwing kicks and then coming off with punches. Then he would get the kicks, pretend to counter because he knew I was countering him as he would. Let me explain this. Sorry, I'll get into detail. So I'll kick his legs. And then he would try and fire straight away, yeah? So as soon as I kicked, he was trying to stick a jab in my face when he realized he couldn't get out of the way. So then I would let him run straight into punch. I'll kick. As he was trying to throw jabs, I'll come with overhand rights and hooks and whatever, letting him run into it. Then he started reading that after my kicks, I started firing. So he was running into punches. So he went there, pretend he'll come in, make me fire, and then go. Then I would change it up again because I realized that he was baiting me after.
How smart is he? Is he very smart?
These are little things that you wouldn't see. You'll just see.
No, but we were watching. Yeah. That's why I'm interested.
A lot of people be, good game plan. He was kicking his legs and think that was it.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, it goes so much deeper than that. There was times where these inches.
Because that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying at the start. Like, that's why I was curious. Were you, because I saw you try the takedowns and you couldn't get the takedowns on him.
Yep.
And then I saw that vocabulary go back and forwards between you in the stand-up that now you're explaining.
Yep.
And that's why my question is, how smart is he when you're fighting him?
Mate, he is. And again, I'm only getting in the physical side. There was that physical battle, and then the fight IQ battle that we were having. Physical battle, fight IQ, and then you had the mental battle, where that's why we were talking a lot in there. That was because he's the type of guy, he wants to break you mentally and physically. He gets in your face. And he will do it like he's not a cocky bloke, but that's just how he gets in your head, and he wants you to know you're crumbling. And I had to let him know I ain't fucking crumbling.
What was he saying to you?
Oh, just little things like, at the start, like I didn't think it was going to be like that. But at the start, there was times where, again, I pulled up short with some of the punches, and he started doing like, there was a little thing where he's like, as if, bull.
The matador,
yeah, the matador, that's it. Little things like that. And again, I'm like, hey, we were waiting for this. We thought we might be pulling short. Don't worry, it ain't end here. We've got a lot more tools in our belt. We've got a lot more.
Did you say something back?
And I'm just like, oh, yeah, fair enough at the start. He's done a couple of things like that. And then I end up having to tell him, like, I'll start landing punches. I was like, ooh, that one got you. Like, just letting him know I'm here. And then there was times where I'm going fresh. I'm here to stay, like, later in the round. Little things like that, just letting him know that I ain't breaking. I ain't going anywhere. There was times where I remember I threw a kick. I hurt my leg. And he's like, oh, they hurt your leg. And he tried to come forward. And then I ended landing some big shots. I'm going, I'm still strong. I'm still powerful. Don't think you got me. You know what I mean? Like, letting him know, like, I ain't folding. Don't even fucking bother. You know what I mean? Again, it was a respectful type of mental battle.
Yeah, shit
But
talking.
I mean, it was the shit talking, but it was purely just the mental side of things. It wasn't because that you're a little bitch. It wasn't like that. Half the time I was sitting there going, hey, you're a sick guy. Like I literally was saying, like, you're a legend. Like, I was saying that. Even after, I remember after the fight, he was on Joe Rogan podcast. Sometimes he's going, man, you're a legend, you champ. Like I was saying stuff like that. I was like, we try spinning back kicks and stuff. And I just respect people that are, that
are trying
game. Yeah, you know what I mean? That gamesmanship, that I don't give a fuck, I respect that. So I'm like, sick cunt. How good's that? But at the same time, letting him know that, I'm having fun in here. I ain't going anywhere. And, even later on, he'll think that the tide will change and then I'll just stop it mentally and physically, let him know that, hey, you ain't getting no momentum. I just kept, chopping that down. But again, I don't want to go too detailed into the fights, but there was a little chess match where I'm talking inches. There was he would bait me, make me go, then I would know he was baiting me. So then I would follow up because, he thought he was going to pull back and then come, but I would double the punch. So, again, I'm just trying to make it as basic as I can.
You don't want to, sorry, Alex, to interrupt you.
Yep.
But just to clarify this, you don't want to go too much into detail because you might have to fight him again, or you don't want to go too far into detail because of the audience?
Well, people probably might not understand where I'm going.
Nah, they love it.
And
they love it. Please go into it.
Not just that. Obviously, this is, again, like I want people to know that it isn't us just, again, they even want to just see us flat-footed and fucking just swing a gladiator style. Look, we all love to see that. But when you're going to talk at the top, there's levels and, you know what I mean? There's the little details that people aren't going to pick up on.
This audience loves it. So if you can talk about it.
Well, that's what I mean. So again, there was times where, so I'll throw the kick and then he'll try and put that pressure on me still. So he'll try and every time I throw a kick, he wanted to stick a jab in my face. But I knew that was coming. So I'd let him run into punches as soon as he wanted to get one on me. So he started running into punches. So he's like, all right, I can't do that. After kicks, he would like sort of fake, pull back, let me throw, and then come in. And then I realized that's what he's trying to do. So then I ended up, I would end up like, say I would kick, get out of range as he's walking forward. Then I'm talking a couple of inches or even holding a punch for an extra half a second. Little things like these little tiny details that were just trying to break my rhythm, break his rhythm. You know what I mean? Little things like that. So it goes right into detail with, we're doing this in so many different areas. But, there was a little chess match that was happening the whole time. And then I just had to make sure I wasn't doing the same thing too many times because he's a smart fighter. So, he catches on quick and he'll make you pay for it. So I just had to let him realize there's nothing that he's going to catch on to him because I'm just going to give him something different every single time. While he was trying to figure me out, he was just eating shots, eating kicks, eating punches. And when he thought he had ants, he would run into something else. And, that's why I feel like, when I felt like, I don't know what it looked like on the outside, but the whole time in there, every time he'd done something, I had an answer for. And, it wasn't going his way. Like so the battle inside, we felt we were winning the whole time, like no dramas. But again, when people can think however they want, you know what I mean? Especially, that first fight, there's a lot of people that are going to try and say, I lost both fights, and people are entitled to their opinions, you know what I mean? But again, we felt we were well ahead that whole fight, and so did the judges.
I have a question for you. One of the combinations I've seen you throw, not just in that fight, but I've seen you throw this combination before, where from orthodox you throw a lead left low kick, and then you step in a southpaw and throw it down. Is that something that is natural to you to throw, or is there something that you saw as opportunistic against certain opponents? Or is it something that that's a nice combination you like to throw, like Aldo's liver shot? Yeah,
like it's something that I've used that work, but again, there's a whole like sort of formula of the ways we fight, and you can do it like these formulas, or like we said, like say wrestling and all that. You're going to have principles, and there's going to be things that you do, and you can use them in so many different ways. So that's something that like there's a formula, like we will get told a formula that that the team will have a formula, good formula of how to do things, and then you could use it however you want. And that's something that not many people will do that, but that's something that's just worked for me. I've felt that it really works. But again, it's not something that you could just throw whenever. It's still broken rhythm, and it's something that I need to do things before that to bait them into something like that. You know what I mean? And again, I'm trying not to give too much away because these are my tricks we're talking about here. You know what I mean?
Sorry to bring that up. It's just something that I find it, because when I say that, like say for example, if I explain, like sometimes, I'm talking to someone or, sometimes I might be doing like a PT class with someone, like someone that thing, and I say like, such and such guy throws this, or I might say Volkanovski throws that, but I try and and I say to him, like, this seems real simple. My mum could throw that, but my mum can't do the timing and the setup and know when to throw it. And that it's not a flashy combination, but it's like to throw that kick and then step to southpaw and throw it again. There's so many things that are happening with the footwork, with the timing, not getting caught on a counter, not getting caught. Because as you switch to southpaw, you don't want to get caught with a lead right hand down the pipe. And to have got to the point where you got the timing down that you can throw that is very impressive. And that's why I just asked you about that combination.
Well, one thing that obviously worked with him is, again, he comes forward with that jab a lot. So, I would either kick and then get out of the way because I knew he was going to come. So that's, again, when I say I was making him run into my punches because I knew he was coming forward, I wasn't just doing that every time. I'll kick him, make him miss. Kick him, let him commit, let him run into something. Then he'll be like, fuck. And then, you know what I mean? There was little things like that. So I kept breaking my rhythm and things like that, kept just changing it up on him. But with that one, that's why that one was working a charm with him as well. Like, I kept landing that because he would come forward. But then he would go southpaw. It would still work beautiful. Like, I can say now I'm going off track because I've explained that. But what you're saying with the timing of things and all that is totally different. But people don't understand, even with a simple jab, that I could use a jab in so many different ways. People be like, oh, he's only allowed a jab. That means he can only jab. But as in, everyone's going to see it coming. But I can change the timing of that jab. I can throw fake jabs in front of it. I can half commit to a jab. I can fully commit to a jab. I can change the distance of the jab. I can loop the jab. You know what I mean? Like, or, just anything. There's so many different ways and timings and all these little things that I can throw that one movement. But then you've got all these other tools, all these other combos, wrestling, jiu-jitsu.
Can you explain when you're fighting Max? Because this isn't going to be a segue directly, but it will eventually segue into his fight with Keita, which I want to get your opinion on. Can you explain when you're talking about with Max two things? The first one being he doesn't start as fast in the first and second round, and you are very, very rare, I suppose. Not I suppose, I know, in that you built. You're short. You do know this.
Really?
I just didn't know if you knew.
All right.
So you're very short, very stocky, very powerful person, but you also have great cardio. And that's very rare. Usually the powerful, shorter guys don't go the 5 rounds at the same level that you do. So looking at you and Max, you'd say that Max should have the better endurance when Max has very good endurance. But I think that, and I've tried to explain this to people before, when you say he's fit, and you're like, he's fit how? Do you want to, explain that? Because that's just a broad term. Max, I think more than just being fit, and he's a cardio machine, he's very, very good at pacing the fight. And so he gets you playing his game in the first and second round where he's resting and he's doing stuff. And so the second question that I was going to say is he has a false distance. He creates a false distance using the jab and using the lean in. Can you explain the combination of those two things? And you obviously knew this going in. So did you go in there to push him in the first and second round, or did you just go in there to break his rhythm and that pushed him as a result thereof?
Well, again, I was going to break his rhythm. And see, it's funny where you look at the fights and everyone will like try and touch all of they're trying to say, touch fighting, or what would they call it? Like, as in. Yeah,
you're just touching each other.
Touch fighting and all that, as if I was the only one doing touch. That's Holloway's style.
Yeah.
Holloway is a pitter-batter puncher. Like, he goes, he just boom, boom, doesn't commit, and that's why he can go for a long time. He won't commit, knows when to commit, but a lot of time he's not committing. A lot of times he's just in your face, sticking things in your face, like you said, like, blah, blah, blah. Then he just comes forward and marches punches. As soon as you start to break, he pours it on. And that's when you really see him come forward. That's why it looks like, people might say slow starter, but he's trying to get in their head, wear him down. And, obviously everyone's dangerous in the first round. Everyone's dangerous. So everyone's eager to throw a punch. Everyone's eager, trigger happy. Everyone's a fast twitch the first round. that quickly changes. And Max is really good at doing that. Like obviously being where he's still got to be safe. Sometimes he still gets touched because while he's trying to wear him down, but then he really pours it on. And he's just a cardio machine. Again, he's not the most explosive fighter, so he's like a Nick Diaz, and some people have just got different. Again, some people are very explosive. Some people are just really endurance based. Well, I think Max is Nate Diaz and all that. With me, I feel like I'm lucky enough where I've got the best of a few of the worlds. Like I've got that a bit of the explosiveness, or and then I've got that endurance, that muscle endurance and that as well. And I can go for a long time as well. So I'm lucky in that sense. But with him, I was never thinking, I'm going to outwork him. I just knew I had to be fit enough to be ready to shut his momentum down, or break his rhythm and all that the whole way through the fight, not let him start to get an edge. So that I just knew I had to be ready for that. With the second fight, I just got myself ready where he had to change his game a little bit.
That's now I want to ask you.
You know what I mean?
One more thing. The first fight, you did have trouble taking him down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Did you nail a takedown in the first fight?
No. Like got to like the clinch and all that, but I never got the takedown.
Yeah, you didn't. You didn't get a fight,
which I'm okay with. Just so people.
No.
know.
Well, you won the fight.
Yeah, I'm okay. No, I'm okay with a lot of people going, oh, he didn't get the takedown, but
no, of course.
You know what? DC touched on a word. Goes, now this is another thing Max has to worry about. You know what I mean? This is another something that. All right, this is another part of the puzzle now. So I'm trying to figure out this puzzle. Now this cunt's going to... Sorry. Now this bloke... Sorry, that's the last word I wanted to say. Now
you've said it about 4 times.
What, that word?
Yeah.
Sorry, I apologize.
He said it about 5 times.
I know I've swore, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Which, for just Max, he's not calling you that. In Australia, that's a term of endearment.
Yes.
It's like saying dude.
Yeah, exactly right. We're mates. But, so that was like, man, now you're going to throw this stuff at me. Now this is another part of the puzzle I need to figure out. So that's, again, I'll go there. If it's not there, Max is really good at takedown defense as well. So he does things right. And I'm the type of person that if it's not there, I'm not going to waste copious amounts of energy on it. So I feel like it wasn't there. He did well. All right. Now we will let it go. Maybe work punches off the break or whatever it is. And then we'll see if we can get deeper or in a better position next time. But, so that's in the first fight. That's how it was, but the second fight was obviously a little bit different. I cut you off, didn't I?
No. Please,
I tend to do that.
Talk. People don't.
I love to talk.
People don't want to hear me, and they want to hear you. But I was going. First of all, that's not only sound fighting advice, but sound dating advice too. Don't spend copious amounts of energy if it's not on. Just let it go. Just let it go, and start again. Reset.
I've been off the market for a while, so I don't know.
Spoken wisely though.
Yeah.
You should do that. You should have like a love channel or something with Alex Volkanovski, and you read love poems like Richard Mercer used to do. 106.5.
Well, there you go.
The Love Doctor. So
the short man's love doctor. Maybe I got your back.
There you go. There you go.
See?
In with Max, we were speaking before, and I'll let you elaborate on it. You didn't find him particularly strong.
Mm-hmm.
When you were trying to take him down, but you said that his use, and this isn't a secret about Max, like everybody knows it. So, you felt that he was able to get that whizzer, which he does on everyone, and he's able to frame.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the differences when you're saying he's not particularly strong, but he was able to stop that every time, and he's not just with you, with just about everyone, he's able to stop. What is it what does Max feel like in there?
Yeah, again, he's not freakishly strong. So there's times where you can tell someone's just got brute strength. But then you got people that are just always in the right position at the right time, which is very effective. And he's a good example
100%.
of that. He's a very good example of that. So, he's not freakishly strong, but he just knows he's not only knows where to position for his height and for his body type, he's nailed it as well. You know what I mean? So, and that's just through repetitions. After repetitions in the gym, obviously he's got a clever team behind him as well, and then he's he's the type of guy that'll just drill things until he has it perfect, and he's got that down pat. So again, what I like to do, again, without giving too much away, with a lot of my fights is there's things that people do very well, like whatever it is. But sometimes you can use these good skills that they do against them because they do this so well. So now we know their direction.
Don't go there, or do something else.
They're going to go here because they do it very well, and you know what I mean, and it works 20 times in a fight, so it's going to work every time for him. So, all right, we know he's going to go here because he does it so well. And, it's, how can we change that? You know what I mean? Well, what's another option we could do? So that's, we've did like good examples, Aldo as well. Aldo is the type of fighter that he's always in the perfect position, so if you move an inch back, he's an inch forward. He's always at this perfect distance. He's always at this perfect squareness to you. If I shift over, he's going to shift and be there. So he's going to adjust. Like he won't even know. This is just muscle memory. This is him being in that position 24/7. He's always base. He's always powerful. That's why his takedown defense is always good to do too, because he's always in the best, his most based, comfortable position. He's always there. And so we use that against him. So like we would shift, and then he would have to adjust, and would attack him off shifts, or like I'll throw a fake. He would have to have to slip. So then I'll go where his head was slipping. Little things like that. There's little puzzles that we figured out, and that was a good example of it. Where some people do things very well, but sometimes all right, how do we work around that? There's so many ways you can do that. And again, I'm just trying to give you stuff without giving too much. But
No, I understand. What happened?
My coach is going to kill me as well.
No, but this is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know what the thing is as well. Like in all reality, like the guys you're fighting guys at the top level as well. It's like, because sometimes you get people, they message you and they go, "Fuck, man, honestly, this is real messages." They'll go, "Did you watch such and such guy's breakdown of such and such guy that your guy was going to fight?" Like, so say for example, I just say you for example, did you see that they did a breakdown on Ortega? Have you watched it? And you might watch it, but the reality is you guys have been watching each other. Like, you know what I mean? Like they know what you know, and Aldo his team is not stupid. They've got a great team. They've been around forever, and they were breaking you down as well. And it's who gets off on the night.
Yeah.
Because what the other thing with fighting, this is what's crazy, is you could have done all of that, and then you walk straight into a fucking right hand.
Exactly right, man.
And it's done.
Exactly right.
And it's like people don't understand that. They'll go, when your game plan works, your game plan worked, and you're a genius.
Yep.
You could have the same game plan.
It was working the whole time.
Yeah.
But then
boom, you ate it.
That game plan didn't work.
And that's it.
What a shit game plan.
Yeah, well, you
Who fucking thought of that?
Yeah. And you're like, that the
Are
other
we allowed to swear? Because I'm swearing a lot
yeah,
today. It's all good.
100%. My daughter's first word is going to be fuck in kindergarten.
We're Australians. Come on, mate. This is how we roll.
It's all good. So what happened in between the first and second fight with Max, and then what happened in that fight?
Yeah, so it's funny what we just talked about how we're going to study each other and we're going to have game plans, but not many people can change their style. Not many people can completely stick to a game plan and change what they're used to execute a game plan. It's not easy. Not many people can do it. Not many people at all. I'm lucky enough to be. I'm a fighter where people thought I was just a wrestler with overhand right, that pressure fighter. I've showed that I can do things completely opposite. So it would have been hard for guys like Aldo to sit there and try and break me down, because they would have thought this fight and this whole complete different fighter comes out. Not many people can do that. Where Max did that, again, there's not many people, and Max did that. You
both did.
Yeah, we both did.
That's what's interesting.
Well, I had to make more of adjustments during the fight, which is even harder again.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
it's even tougher again, where he made adjustments from the fights, and again, that's still a massive. That's, you got to give credit, because to change a whole style, something that he's this has already been talked about. I've heard Eugene break it down and all that, so I don't mind breaking it down. Where with Max, again, how I was saying, like, he likes to, he's got a stance where he's a bit heavy and he likes to evade, like, he's good with his footwork to get in and out of the range. So we still expected him to do that. We didn't think he was gonna go, his legs a bit closer together, more upright, and really worry about checks and just stay in a stance like that. We didn't think he would do that. We didn't think that's his game. We thought, for him to really change his game, that he's going to really struggle elsewhere. But he did. He what people were saying. We called him Muay Thai Max. So he went from Max Holloway to Muay Thai Max. That's what he did, and he did it well. Like, he stood his ground. He didn't worry about going back now. He worried about just if you come forward, I'm going to make you run into things. And we didn't expect that. We didn't think, again, we just didn't think that their team would take that on. And you got to give them credit for that. So they did. And it was a bit of a surprise. And you've seen it was a slow start for me.
What happened then? Why was it a slow start? Because he's not notoriously, but like we said before, like a slow kind of starter.
Yeah.
And you make him work.
Yeah, man. Like it's just
Was it hard for you to adjust?
Well, no, I mean, I don't like to make excuses either, but like, you know, obviously
make one, Alex.
There was so many things that was different about this fight. Obviously, you got no crowd, you know, everything like that. There were so many things that was, and I was just, I just felt like I wasn't there. You know, when I say I wasn't there, like I just felt I was there. I was normal. I was clear as, but it did not feel like I was fighting. So it was weird. It was weird where I was just too chill. I'm so good at keeping myself composed in the heat of the chaos, like, you know, with the big crowds. And I feel like I've got an edge on a lot of fighters, because a lot of fighters, you know, they might get a bit trigger happy. They might get a bit too excited. You know, I'm really good at keeping myself composed. I try to do the same thing with no crowd. And I was just well underdone. Like I was just like way too clear. I remember saying to my corner, I'm like, boys, I'm fucking clear. Talk to me. I'm going to hear everything you say, because I am way too clear right now, man. Like, you know, I mean, it was weird. It was a weird feeling. And, you know, so everything was forced. You know, usually, you know, you train, you drill things and, you know, obviously your reaction time's on point. You drill things and, you know, you're waiting for opportunities. And, you know, when you're firing, when you're going good, your reactions are doing well in these opportunities. But my reactions weren't there, and I could not. So I was waiting for opportunities to do things, waiting for him to do that, and I kept doing it. And I was just, you know, my corner were telling me, you got to go, Alex. Stop sitting back and waiting for opportunities to come.
At which point was this?
This was after first and second. So they seen in the second at first, and then definitely after the second, they're like, you need to do more. You need to go. You need to pull the trigger. So I need to make my opportunities. Stop waiting for opportunities.
Did you feel you were down at that point?
Yeah, of course, 100%. So we knew that. Obviously, they were still. You look at obviously, if you get the stats or whatever, you can see they're close. But obviously, he had big finishes in both them rounds. And I know how fights are scored. So we knew, like, all right, he's took these rounds. My corners are telling me. So
how hurt were you when you dropped?
I wasn't. Look, to be honest, I wasn't fully hurt. Obviously, something happened there where I wouldn't just get to a knee, drop to a knee like that for no reason. But I was there the whole time. So obviously, maybe if something did quickly shut off, or just caught me, and I was already trying to palm his arms away as I was getting back up to my feet, both times. So I was there the whole time, but again, obviously they landed clean, and that's a big statement, especially at the end of the round. So we knew we didn't have them first two rounds. Third round, we're like, you need to do more. You know, you got to stop waiting, and you got to do more. Obviously, there's more technical things that we're talking about as well, but that's when I had to make adjustments as well, where we're doing things, you know, we're going one way, and like he was reading things that we're doing. So then I pretty much had to go another way, and I had to use, you know, he was using his right side, you know, his rear side a lot, you know, catching me with the rear side. So again, I don't want to give too much away, but I end up like crowding more the right side. I was crowding it and landing a lot of hooks, a lot of jabs, and making it hard for him to counter me there. If that it's sort of it's hard to explain, and it's way too detailed, so I'm not gonna get into it. But and it's my tricks too.
But was that an adjustment? Was that an adjustment you made
in the fight?
You said to yourself, or your corner said to yourself, which I don't separate, because either whether they said it to you or you, but somewhere in that fight you had to make a physical and psychological and mental adjustment to say, I'm going to crowd this guy's right hand.
Yeah.
Right. Well, can you explain not how you do it, but can you explain what that means for people?
I won't say that I thought of myself, crowd the right hand, but I tend to realize like I make adjustments, and I'm really good at playing what's in front of me. And I started what I realized I started doing this. But looking back at the fight, I sort of really understood what I did. But again, like obviously we'll do more. That was key. Like I had to make my opportunities. Stop.
But what is crowding the right hand? For
I just meant like he obviously landed that uppercut a couple of times. So I was coming in. I was I would come in, and then he would get me with the uppercut.
Yeah, I saw what. Yeah, so I thought he was going to throw a front kick.
Yeah,
which he tried, which he did.
Yeah, so he would get me when I say he got me the right kick and the right uppercut.
No, but I thought he was going to throw more down the middle.
Okay,
because of the same reason of the uppercut.
Okay, yep.
Which I'm not going to give too much away either.
He was doing this as I was coming in.
Yeah,
so
I'll
try and come in on an angle. As soon as he felt the jab, he ended up coming like with uppercut and landed a couple of times. So I'm like, all right, maybe I was only going one way majority of the fight. So I had to start going a different way. And like I don't want to give too much away. So that's one reason why I don't want to talk about it too much. But when I say crowd the right hand, it was just don't be in the firing line of the right hand. That's a.
But you're moving in the direction of the right hand.
Well, I was landing the jabs and the hooks that way. So yeah, without giving too much away, but yeah,
it sounds. You know what it's like? It's like he's done something horrible, like he cheated on his wife or something, and I'm asking him stuff in like this thing. So no, but I fully understand. I'm not going to keep fishing for it.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just it was a battle where again, easy way of putting it is I was going one way and trying to tackle off that, and then that wasn't working. So I end up going another way, and then obviously it gets a lot more complex than that. But that's what I mean. There's a lot of details, and these adjustments I had to make in the fight. And that's when you started seeing me land a lot more jabs, a lot more hooks. And, obviously the leg kicks and all that were always going to be there. It was always going to be an obstacle for him to, check because he started checking and then firing off his checks and things like that. So just, so I had to make adjustments. But key was you had to go more. Like, you know what I mean? And that was something the boys were like, going, stop waiting for these opportunities. You just need to go more. And Joe was telling me, like, we need to start looking for the takedown as well. Obviously, look at the takedown. Not only will that give him something else to worry about, but obviously, let's get on top as well, because at the first 2 rounds it wasn't working. So after the first 2 rounds, let's start changing it up. So that's where the direction. And we're lucky enough to obviously not get hit with some of the big shots, and then land a lot more punches, and then to get the takedowns as well. So again, and we knew obviously in the 3rd round, like we need, like my corner's telling me, like, you need these next 3. You need to do something. No more waiting. You lose this round, that's it. So I'm in a bad position. All he needs out of the next 3 rounds is one more round. And
so you're absolutely cognizant of the fact that you lost the first 2.
Yes. Yeah, we knew that. 100%. Yeah. So we were, again, like we know how.
But I'm saying you're not delusional.
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
it's not like,
right. You know
I won every round. Like, no.
Yeah, exactly right. So, and I'm going to, even if I thought I won, I still ask, like, I'm like going, are we up? And they're like, yeah, you sure? We're good? Okay, we'll keep doing what we're doing. So then the 3rd round comes, and then obviously it's a competitive round. But we go then, we started landing the hooks and the punches, and we started pressuring more and crowding him a little bit more, and landed a lot more strikes. And then again, obviously, I don't want to get into it too much, but obviously you got commentary and you got stats that were completely wrong. But, obviously, if you look at the official stats, they show you I was well ahead in significant strikes and strikes in general in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So we were confident. And you got to remember, we don't see these stats. We don't hear the commentary. So we're confident that, 3rd round you got, but you need these next 2. And so this next one, we go 4th. All right. Again, they're all competitive rounds. And again, that's something that people don't get, because he done big things in the first 2 rounds. They'll never 10-8. Let's be realistic. You don't get 10-8s from that. But the third round was competitive, but we know we edged.
But even if you gave him a 10-8 in one of those rounds, he still wouldn't win the fight.
It'd be a draw.
It'd be a draw.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have got 10-8 in both those rounds,
But then again, so then without talking about too much, but then we started getting the takedowns as well. So that obviously was big for us as well.
What was the adjustment? He gets the whizzer, he puts a frame on, and as he steps out, you caught with your left leg the inside trip.
Yeah.
Was it something that you knew when he square off on you, or is it something you just adjusted?
Mate, to be honest, like we were drilling a lot of things because we knew that what he was going to do. I'll be lying if I said that was something that we really focused on. We didn't, but I mean, we were in that position a lot as well. We put ourselves in these positions. So, my team, that's one thing. Like, we can tell you all these things you got to do, but you need to be put in these positions and you need to feel it. You need to feel it. So, obviously, my team done such a great job of seeing what happened in the first round, and what we need to fix this. We need to put you in this position. We need to find a way around it. So we had ways of getting around it and then putting ourselves in that position. So we knew that he was going to get that whizzer, and he likes to, without, again, I want to get so technical, but with that whizzer, and then as soon as you get over a center line, he's so good at framing that elbow and just turning you right over. So we had to just nullify that. And then as I was walking him to the cage, that opportunity was there because I knew what he was going for. So before I got stuck on the cage with his deeper whizzer, I took the opportunity of getting that inside trip before I even got him there. So as he was ready to get himself into that position that is always comfortable, I snuck in that inside trip before he could actually get there, which was good, and it worked well. So I'm glad we made that adjustment. But so that was big. Obviously, again, all the last three were definitely competitive rounds, but just edging them and then having them takedowns were big.